Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to another podcast.
Haha, what is up, everybody?
Podcast, talking about bullshit and other things. And I came across this video on TikTok, which made clear sense to me. And the sense to me that it makes is this: we're gonna play the clip and kind of break down how I feel, because I kind of understand exactly where this guy is coming from. Because it basically says, I wish I could cure a disease, right? And you would think it would be the AIDS, it would be curing people of coronavirus, it would be curing cancer. And here's the video, if you guys can see it right here. And it says, so last night, I'll read it for you guys. It says, so last night, the guys and I were talking, and we came across a question. If I could cure anything, what would it be? And here's what he says, which is kind of actually really truthful for a lot of people, because a lot of people have this.
The guys and I were talking, and we came across a question. And they said, if you could cure any disease in the entire world, what would it be? And I think a lot of people's answer would probably be cancer, right? That's just us being human. But if you actually think about it, I wish I could cure depression. We never sit back and think about the moms that just gave birth, and it's the happiest moment of their life, and all they're battling their demons and depression in their head. Soldiers that just risk their lives for years and come home and have no one to talk to about what's haunting them. And I know depression all too well with somebody that I truly care about. And I asked her, what does it feel like? And she said, if I was in a room of 100 people, I'd feel like I'm alone. So, yeah, my answer is, I wish I could cure depression because it's not fair. God bless.
And he has a really, really good point, that it makes no sense for people to have depression, because anxiety and depression is something that I don't really understand, because I don't really go through it. I guess every now and then I'll get in like a weird mood where I don't want to talk to nobody, don't want to do nothing. Maybe that is considered like depression. But at the end of the day, when I really seriously think about it, I really don't really think I have depression, because when I hear a lot of people talking about depression, they're always like, I'm severely depressed, I'm sad, they have anxiety, they have like these swings where they just want to get in a room, they cry, and they don't understand why they feel this way. And like the guy says, it's a lot of times these soldiers that come back with PTSD, and they have nobody to talk to, nobody to explain their issues to. Because there's a guy at my work that has PTSD, or he used to, or he still does, and he tells me the most disturbing stories that he's ever seen in his life. And he was in the U.S. military, and he was over in Afghanistan. And he said the weirdest thing, because he used to drive box trucks for the U.S. military, right? He used to be the what do they call it, supply guy, and he would deliver food, weapons, ammo, you name it. That's what his job was, supplying the soldiers for battle and for whatnot. So he would go to one base to another, one place to another, and he would drive box trucks, like like the U-Haul trucks that we use to move furniture and move our houses. He would move military supplies for the soldiers. And he said every day around like 2 o'clock you would hear and I'm like, damn, you'd hear missiles? He goes, yeah. And he goes, for the first week, all I did was lay in my bed and scream and cry. And I'm like, really? He goes, he's all, you think it's a video game until you get there, and all you hear is and he said it's the most frightening thing, because you know if you make one small step, your ass is grass. And when I heard him say that, I was like, oh, really? Your ass is grass? He goes, it's not Call of Duty, baby. It's the real life. And he goes, these people that are he goes, these people that you think are the most tough, badass individuals, you think they're going to come in there swinging for the fences. They're like the Rock type of guy. They're like the Brock Lesnar's. They're these ripped motherfuckers. And they get into this situation where they're the ones curled up in a ball, scared because they know the enemy can see them and go and take them out. And he goes, one of the most disturbing things I've ever seen in my life. And I was like, what's that? Someone dying? He goes, no, you had human beings coming out of the ground. And I was like, what do you mean? He goes, they lived in like a hole in the ground, and when they would come out of the ground, they would be literally coming out of their homes. And I was like, you're literally talking about a hole in the ground. He's like, literally a hole in the ground. They would just pop up, and that's where they lived, like in a little cave in the ground. And he goes, that was the most disturbing thing, and it really effed him up. And he says every time, and he keeps telling me every time he hears that music, like that, oh, like that Middle Eastern music, it always brings him back to that time where he would hear all the music and the religion, and it would always bring him back to that time. And he goes, there's days where I have flashbacks and I think about that stuff, but he says it was the most like rewarding time of his life, but also some of the most scariest times of his life, because when you think about it, no one is trained, no one is mentally able to go to a war zone and fight a battle and come home and be normal. It's not normal to see hearing gunshots all the time and being in panic all the time. You think you have a rough life, go to a war zone. He goes, it's not like the movies. It's scary. You still have to do your patrols. You still have to drive your box trucks. You still have to deliver your goods to your other fellow soldiers. But he goes, it's the most craziest time because you're driving these vehicles and you don't know if there's a roadside bomb. You don't know if there's this or that. And he goes, you can get severely depressed. And that's what post-traumatic stress disorders is, basically where you just break down and cry for no reason. Some people use marijuana to deal with the stress. Then there's other times where people just do other things. They resort to alcohol, suicide. And for the people that I know that have severe anxiety, they tell me like they freak out. Sometimes they can't go places because they get nervous, or they're so emotional they just can't handle being around people. And like this guy in the video was saying, if he could cure that, it would help so many people, because there's so many people that deal with depression and they live in like a dark environment. And living in a dark environment is not the most healthiest thing. And I don't know how to deal with depression. There's even a song by Killswitch Engage where the singer writes a song, and he says basically in one of the lyrics, you can't let the fear and panic take over your life. You have to overcome that. And if you can never overcome that, the fear, the panic, the depression is always going to get you, and it's always going to kick you in the face and bring you down. Like I said, I deal with I used to do before the virus. I used to deal with taking all my anger or all my negativity off on music, like going to concerts and going moshing and crowd surfing, and just taking my anger off on that kind of way. Because, like the singer Disturbed said, this is your therapy session. When you go to a show, it doesn't matter if it's a rap show, a country show, whatever it is. That's your 2 hours to take your, let's say, negativity or your depression out on the music. And for a lot of people, music is that expression, that way to take away the depression, the sadness, because music talks to people. Like Eminem says,
they say music can alter moods and talk to you. Can it load a gun up for you and cock it too?
and he says basically music can alter moods and make you think a different way. And let's just say you're at a job site and they put on some music. a rap song or just music in general can make you go from a sad, depressing feeling to a very happy feeling. Music can make you think of a time that really changed you or really made you feel a certain way. That is the truth. Music can alter moods. It can make you work harder. It could, especially like if you're in a gym environment or like at a football practice and you hear your favorite song.
Parents' mouth rough, wrapped with a newfound hate. Reprogram my entertainment.
Get off your ass and make you more motivated. That's what music does. It alters moods and it helps you out. That's why when I'd go to, let's say, Rockville Festival, which is a 3-day festival here in Northeast Florida, where you'd have all sorts of bands. You'd have 20 bands each day, and they would play for 20 minutes, and you would hear your favorite artist, and you would go crazy. And after the songs were over, you could walk away from the stage feeling more energized, more happy, and feeling like you just went to a therapy session. And that's why the band Disturbed says going to a show is like therapy. They want you to take out all your negativity and darkness on their music, and that's why they perform the music that they do. So yeah, man, if you could cure anything, I still would think I would say like depression is really high up there, but you got to take in consideration cancer, because I've lost people in my life. I lost my aunt to cancer. I guess you'd say my grandma to cancer. So I lost 2 people in my life to cigarette-related illnesses, and those are something that I've always wondered, why isn't there a vaccination for cancer? And you can't say, well, they've been trying for years. Well, I remember back in the my mom would actually turn on these, what they're called, telethons. And what a telethon is basically, it would play music and they would have like a guy up there speaking, we're raising this amount of money. It's like kind of like a Kickstarter now. And they would raise truckloads of money so people would have the ability to do like the research, and they would do like $500,000, and they would do this every year. So it's like mind-blowing to me that they raise so much money, but there's no vaccination to get rid of this. It's always mind-boggling to me. It's like, is this something they're doing just for a cash grab because they're wanting people to send all this money, but they're never willing to finish making a vaccination, even though the virus has been around since the 1600s, according to Google? They say there's never been a vaccination, never been a chance to make research good enough to cancel it, like basically eradicate it. It's like they eradicated polio, they eradicated other things. Why can't they eradicate that? It's like COVID-19, they already have a vaccination, and that's been around for less than 14 months. And then you have a virus that's been around for, I would say, hundreds of years. Even the co-founder of Apple Computers, Steve Jobs, ended up getting it twice. He got rid of it once, and then he died in like 2012, 2013, something like that. He died of cancer, and cancer is no joke. Cancer will kick you in the ass, and it doesn't matter if you're a woman, a child, rich or poor. It's going to get you and going to kill you. It doesn't matter if you have a lot of money or you have no money at all. That's the thing with cancer. It's going to kick your ass regardless if you're rich or poor, young or old. And it's sad to me that these young kids get it all the time. And you have like Wilson Children's Hospital, and these kids are suffering from a disease that should be eradicated, should be gone. But it's like some people say on YouTube, some people say in real life that the reason they don't get rid of it is because it's a cash money grab, because for a lot of people, they're making truckloads of money off it because all the medications. It's the same thing with smoking cigarettes. You would think they could get rid of cigarettes because 450,000 people die every year in the United States, but they're not going to get rid of the cigarettes because it brings in truckloads of money. I don't know what it brings in. I would just say $1.5 billion a year or something. And if they got rid of it, it would affect the economy a lot, and it would affect these cigarette people, and a lot of people would be out of a job. And to be honest, I would say all those cigarette smokers want you to smoke a blunt, smoke some weed, smoke some dope. Smoke some weed. That's way better and more healthier than smoking something that is proven to give people lung cancer, and that is true. And then there's some of these people that are deniers of secondhand smoke. my aunt was one of those people. She goes, it's physically impossible to get secondhand smoke. And I was like, why do you say that? And she goes, well, you can't have that. There's no such thing as secondhand smoke. It's a hoax. And you know what I find funny? All the people that I know that ever smoked cigarettes, they all have to use oxygen. And there was this dude when I worked at Walmart. It was my first job ever out of Walmart, out of high school. And this guy walks up wheeling in a oxygen tank. And I was like, oh, okay. And he goes, hey, son, you know why I got this oxygen tank? And I was like, no, sir, I don't. And he goes, it's because I smoked cigarettes my whole life. Don't ever smoke cigarettes. They're disgusting. They ruin your life, and they cost a buttload of money. And guess what? Now I have to use this oxygen tank and roll it around because they never told me as a kid that I would end up using oxygen. And because if you think about it, back in the day, they actually told people smoking cigarettes is actually a good thing. It actually helps. And you live longer. And that's what they said. And then you hear back in the old days that they said sugar was healthy for you. And sugar is actually not the best for you. Makes you fat. So the reason, if you wonder why I have headphones on and I had these on, it's because if you notice the cord right here, it's actually allowing me to hear the audio in full time. And if I wanted to, I could turn the volume up and down on my microphone. So when I'm talking to you guys, I can hear in real time if the audio is loud or not loud. And that's one thing I think a lot of people don't do when they're recording audio, is using the built-in microphone input to hear the audio, because when you're recording, you don't know if it sounds loud, and then you go in your editing software and go, ooh, I got to turn it up, and then there's a lot of hiss because you're just cranking up the gain in your editing software instead of recording it loud like it should be, straight out the But yeah, guys, that is what I wanted to talk to you guys about, and that is, I guess you would say, the first rendition of what I'm calling the Daily Grind podcast. We're going to keep pumping these out every single day. And I'm just recording this with a Logitech C920 web camera with the Samson Q2U dynamic microphone using OBS. And hopefully you guys enjoy this little topic, because like I said, it was just a little TikTok video. And hopefully you guys could see on the TikTok video that the guy is getting buttloads of views. I don't know how many let's see what he has. He currently has on that video 279,000 views, and he has 1.5 million subscribers. And for me, I have 81 subscribers. 5 million subscribers. And for me, I have 81 subscribers on my TikTok, as you guys can see right here. This is my TikTok. And the weird thing about TikTok is, before I let you guys go, because a lot of you guys might not even use TikTok as a platform, and I think TikTok is a platform that is fun and easy to use. The one main reason I think TikTok is so weird, it's not a platform that if you're blown up on TikTok, you're blown up on other platforms. Like if you're a YouTuber and you have, let's say, 1 million subscribers, usually you have like 500,000 subscribers on Instagram and a lot on Facebook. Normally, what I found, a lot of these people who have, let's say, 2 million subscribers on TikTok, you go to their Facebook page, they have like 200 likes. You go to their Instagram page, and their Instagram page has maybe like 10,000 likes. And it's not a platform, like I said, that works on any other platform. So you can't take the sole like ideas that you're doing on TikTok and put it on YouTube. It doesn't work. You can't take those ideas and put it on like Instagram, because those kind of like TikTok videos are only a TikTok platform kind of thing. It's kind of weird, because like I said, a lot of the TikToks that I do would never work on any other platform. It just would not make, it doesn't make any sense. Like tell me, does this make sense on like YouTube?
Did anybody else wake up this morning and walk outside and it's so cold? Just me, right? Because it's cold as today. Frosty's ball sack just everywhere. Did anybody else wake up this morning and walk outside and it's so cold it's just like, Frosty's ball sack just slapped you in the face? Or is it just me? Because it can't just be just me, right? Because it's cold as today. Frosty's ball sack just everywhere.
So it is like most videos on TikTok are like 15 seconds to a minute long, and I think the reason why it's so popular is because it's that micro content. It's in and it's out. It's not content that you're watching like 10 minutes or 12 minutes or 15 minutes long. But yeah, like I said, if you're a fan of my little podcast that I'm starting, which I want to preference, this is going to be a weekly thing. I'm going to try to do it as much as possible because I do have a reaction channel that I do every single day, and I like doing that. It just brings me a lot of joy because it actually has a good amount of people actually watching and enjoying. So if you guys like this content, just remember to smash that like button, hit the subscribe button. It's your boy Trevor back with another video, baby. And I'm just trying different things out and whatnot. But this is the way I think the podcast is going to be. Just me finding a topic, me shooting the shit about it, and me telling you stories in between. But as always, I don't want these podcasts to be like exuberant amounts of time. I don't want to waste your time like 3-hour podcast like Joe Rogan. There was a podcast with Joe Rogan one time. It was 5 hours. Who has 5 hours to listen to a podcast? Not me. That's why I like to do 10 to 20 minutes. Anything more than 20 minutes, I think if it's a one-man show, is a little stale unless you add different things into the podcast. But as always, remember to rate, comment, subscribe,